in the dark. How does it feel to be locked in your mind? How does it feel to be broken beyond repair? How does it feel to be stuck in the night, in the dark, gagged? Well, I have a surprise for all of the parents who are in the dark, all the parents and their children and their family and friends who have been in the underground for many years. In fact, we can historically say for the last 75 years since World War II, that many families have been alienated, denied contact, placed in institutions, care homes, lodgings, adopted out, fostered, and trafficked. And it's time to tell your stories. And guess what, guys? You are about to step into the light because the platform and the app has been built. All we need is for you to come out of your shell, out of your depression, out of your fears, out of your embarrassment, shame, guilt. Is it feeling a little bit lighter now? Are you not feeling so depressed? Turn to alcohol, drugs, maybe feel a little bit of love. Not so naive now? Okay, it's getting a little bit lighter. And thank you to all of the hard work over the last, wow, we're in 2019. It was July the 19th, I think, 2013. I hope you can hear me, but my voice, I have spoken on so many mics these last couple of days. I've spoken to so many people. In fact, I've spoken to thousands and hundreds of people. That's in a grandeur exaggeration. However, that is potentially true because we have 7 billion people here on Crackbook alone that we could potentially be talking to. But we're about to now take you off of social media and into your own story in your own book, where you can make the money that you need to bring your children home and tell your story the right way. And I hope with the profits that you will get from your story, that you can buy the home that you need, the lifestyle that you need, the legal team that you need, and you can really get somebody to listen to your story and is willing to really help bridge this gap between where your children are, where you are, and where you should be. And that's our gift for all your hard work. I know it has been horrible. I know some of us have been through battles of suicide, depression, being in low places, tears. It's okay to cry, guys. It's okay. These help heal you. It's through the tears that you actually release your emotions. And if you don't cry, you bottle it up and you cause dis-ease in your body, in your mind. So to cry is really good. And I would never, ever want to hide any tears for Aaron and Faith, ever. I don't like pride, as you know. So I humbly wear my tears for my children. So anyway, this isn't about me, this is about you guys. So if you are a face of forced adoption, I'm predominantly talking to you. However, on the flip side of the band is also long-term foster care, and through the steering group agreement, and as you know, since the day I broke my gag, I stood with Fathers for Justice, parent alienation, denied contact, all matters that go on in the family courts. As you know, there are many different people pushing for an investigation into the family courts. It's coming from top, middle and bottom. Please don't think that just people sitting on the benefit system are having these issues just because of legal aid, but actually people are paying thousands and thousands of pounds into the family court system and to solicitors and barristers, and even for contact with their children, even having to pay for the support staff, and actually if this is a private agreement, they're also having to pay for the social workers and the judges as well. And this is happening even to Lords. This is happening, as you know, it happened to Lucy Allen, who was a barrister herself. It has also happened to Victoria, who was a solicitor herself. It's happened to many, 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 many good people who work in the services, just as much as the good people out here in the public. So anyway, what I need you to do is go over to facesofforcedadoption.co.uk. Yes, I have access to this website, so does David, and so does many other people. David alone has sat with an empty fridge with nothing more than some butter, pretty mouldy, and the milk that he uses daily for his coffee to keep him going, and occasionally thinking maybe he should eat something a few days later. And he has worked absolutely tirelessly, working on books and books and books of laws, he's been building websites. He's built an entire replica of Crackbook for you, for all of you parents to build your own, create. Nobody can take it down, nobody can do anything with it. It's completely controlled by us. There is no bigwig that is taking your stuff. It is for you to put your case number, your story, and also, as from today, launched on the website, which David has tirelessly worked to pay for and get done for you. All you have to do is sign in, write your story, and self-publish, and your book belongs to you. Your copyrights will belong to you. But we are here every step of the way, and I have professionals who are friends of mine willing to give you a help. I am hoping that my biggest enemy, which is my own mother, is actually going to be your editor, because she actually is, I can't think of my mum's publishing company name, but if anybody is to edit and distribute a book, it's my mum. She is the best of the league. So she won't do mine, but she will do your guys. So, and she probably will do mine, because she'll probably want to be the first person to edit it, so she can completely rip it to fucking pieces. So who best not to edit but your best critic? Do you know what I mean? So this is your opportunity to tell your own story, and literally from your book, I'm then going to help you create a speaker platform. And like I said, from the profits of your own book, so literally each book is going to cost us about £3.50 to create through sort of like Amazon, print press, things like that. And then you will be able to sell your book. I'm hoping you'll all do it at $9.99, emergency number. Or if you're in America, I don't know, 111, so stick with 999 or 777 if you want to stay within a spiritual side. It's completely up to you. It's your book, it's your story. You have complete control. But if you get stumbled at any point, we will help you. So it's also, obviously, as I build platforms within myself and people help do so, then I hope it enables and empowers other people too. So I hope you join us to do this. I hope that if I get my act together, obviously my focus is here until probably up to the 15th, because even though once I drive it, I've got to keep it going. And obviously one of my main aims is to bring people who ran over to France back. So I'm hoping the soldiers are going to go over, and I might even hopefully be going across if things come together. I am literally living on a prayer myself right now, and I believe that I'm meant to be in this situation. So I also want to ask for appeal for help, and that is to anybody who knows anything about injunctions, cease and desist. I don't know when I'm going to need it at this particular point, but I do need an injunction. I know I'm going to sound really grandiose saying this, but if you actually understand my paperwork, I have every legal right to do this. I need to subpoena not the president, Donald Trump, but Donald Trump previously to being president. I need to serve an injunction that prevents him from leaving the UK until he deals with the matter. Now, that matter could be dealt with at the airport within 3 minutes if he agrees to do this. It really could be. And all it is because I was attending what's called Success Resources. Please Google it. People have jobs, they go to work. The people who run those businesses are called business people. Those business people attend networking meetings. Donald Trump was a property developer, and I attended Kevin Green's networks. Kevin Green was one of my main links and coaches, and if you go to, I think it was the article that New Woman magazine did, it said that James Greenwell was my mentor. So if you connect all the dots and look at all of that, you'll see how it connects and why I was lifted from this platform to this platform because of what was in the media with Challenge Britain. So obviously it opened doors because everybody wants to help the disabled single mother, do you know what I mean? The benefit system is trying to help itself. People don't want to help people who don't help themselves, but they will who want to help themselves. It's like, have you ever sat in a car that's broken down on the road wondering why nobody actually comes along and gives you a hand? It's because you're not actually asking for help, you're just being a victim. But have you ever actually then got out of the car and even just gone to push and all of a sudden help just turns up from nowhere? It's because once you start emotions to help yourself, then obviously the Lord will fulfill that prophecy. But when you sit down in victim mode, then anyway, that's another story for you to suss out as you're writing your book. So this is also a way as a platform for you to put your cases together. So if I'm going to be speaking to Jerry, who's overseeing all that sort of area. It's a bit difficult because I don't own anything. I'm just a mum. Okay, I'm just a mum whose children were taken for forced adoption, and I asked for help, and that help never came. I just got bombarded with. I put the website Forced Adoption Exposed up, and 92,000 people came in with 3 weeks, and that was like, it just went, and I just went poof. And then obviously we had Philomena, and then we had Wanted, and then we had like Exposure, Don't Take My Child, and we had even prior to all that, War for Justice, My Commitment to Prison, Gagged. I've just been like this. I went to church this morning, and it was about trauma. And obviously they were talking about the amygdala, and they were talking about being in fight and flight. And I've got a mum who's trying to convince me that everything that I do is because of my mental health. Obviously there is my camera's just gone. I always believe that my mum actually does have my best interest at heart. I don't believe that my mum ever wakes up in the morning and goes, what can I do to screw my daughter and fuck her up today? I just don't think that she's really that callous. I don't know. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest? Maybe. Who knows? Maybe my mother is my worst enemy. Or maybe she's always been my best friend. I love my mum. Whatever I have to say, I try not to bring my mum into this, but at the end of the day, my life has been public pretty much all my life. My mum has always been public most of my life. So my life has always intertwined with my mother being public. If she writes about me in like Bella magazine and Woman's Own, and The Sun and Moral Dilemmas and all that fucking palaver when I was a kid. And she's a publisher. What did I expect? You know, you're born to a writer. What do you expect for a daughter? So, you know, she writes. I won't even actually tell you what genre my mum writes because she writes under a pseudonym. So, and she's not actually doing a lot of that stuff at the moment since obviously Aaron and Faith were taken. She's taken a bit of working, putting kitchens together, but she was trained by the house doctor as well, so she's an interior designer and all that sort of stuff. In fact, there's not much my mum hasn't done. She's a very clever woman, my mum. Very, very, very clever woman. Very clever woman, but a bit of an armadillo. Hard on the outside, soft in the middle. But anyway, enough about my mum. So I'd kill anybody who ever slated my mum in front of even social workers know it. Even as a kid, I used to do it. It's all right for me to say whatever I like about my mum, but dare you ever try saying anything in front of me, that be it, even probably my children, partners. There's been situations at school where people have made derogatory comments. I've always been known. In fact, I remember flying across a LAC meeting when I was about 14, I think, because some stupid, stuck-up social worker said my mum didn't do something or something, and I was like, I had enough of this bullshit. I'd like sitting in a room with people putting my mum down. Like, no, I wasn't having it. I sort of flew across the room at him. So, yeah, I'm sort of renowned for defending those I love. Many scraps and fights as a child, but that's another story. But yeah, I actually came on here for a very, very different reason, and obviously in the background this has been coming on, and I didn't want to drift off and not stop, and really, really, really pull for all parents to please get on this platform. Even if you don't want to publish it, it will be a great way for you to have a present left for your children, just in case, unfortunately, you're not here the day they come to find you. We do lose parents to suicide. And maybe some people do want to leave and the struggle is too much, and you feel by writing this it would be your way of letting go of all the pain. But I want you to do it as a form of therapy. So I want you to join me in a few workshops on writing your story, telling your story, getting things from your own point of view and understanding a bit of trauma. I don't quite know how we're going to do this yet. I do know how we can do it if my shit was together, because if I had all my websites and shit together, which I have actually just found. See, I have stupid little scraps of piece of paper like this, yeah, and they're really important. In fact, I've got another one. Sometimes people haven't got pens, and we have to like, where is my camera? And we have to like scratch them with pieces of things to make sure, because I've no business cards or nothing. I literally am a mouth of the South, do you know what I mean? Who lived in the North, visited the West and the East. So, my story is gagged. Obviously, I am gagged. I don't give a shit about copyrights. Even if your story is just one chapter for Forced Adoption Exposed, I own the copyrights for that. That's where you are fucked. So Forced Adoption Exposed is mine, and all your books can go in that. But same thing. It's your story, your chapter. You do what you want. Any profits, it goes solely to you. It's up to you to distribute it from where you want. It is 100% a way for you to and not have to be dependent on the state. I want to give you an opportunity to, it's not selling your soul, it's not what it's about creating a product. So basically, when you've got a message, I'll give you a little thing from the world that I work in. So, and if you're worried about all these bruises, do you want me to show you something? Because I know a couple of people have been commenting. It's not EDS month, awareness any month, but do you want to have a look at something like, seriously, this is EDS. This is my life every day. So when I said to the police officer and social workers and everybody about Elijah, and I went, no bruises, not yet, and they took my kids off me, what I meant was this. Yes. It's like, it's part of our condition, for fuck's sake, you ignorant fucking social workers and teachers and people who go, the child came with bruises again today. My mum had it for fucking years. She used to put me in the bath going, where's the bruises? And she used to go over and I used to scrub it like dirt. She'd go, look at your filthy legs, your legs are really... And I go, no mum, they're bruises. She'd go, no, they're not really dirty. It was a game. So she used to go, where's the bruises? Because she used to obviously check, because sometimes these bruises, like, I've got bingo rings, but is it this arm? Oh, it's this arm. Sometimes, obviously, because it can cause problems within our internal organs. So you have to keep an eye on them. That was all I said. I've got my kids just literally, the food just went whoosh. Within 3 seconds. My life was just... I want to keep going because it's just gone on and on and on. So anyway, I'm hoping, let me get to the main point before I go. I have been to Queen's Hotel today for a family function for the first garden party of the complete renovation of the Queen's Hotel, all ready for Donald Trump and the Queen and everybody else and the press and everybody that will pretty much be at the Queen's Hotel. That confirmation was delivered today. So I went there for a reason. But do you want to know what was really cool about it, right? It was so funny. It's not ideal with the two boys with me. It really, really isn't. Elijah runs around like a fucking rabbit on a freaking... being chased like by frogs. He's like, and when you've got another little one and in crowds like that, it's freaking impossible. But pretty much all the security know me now, do you know what I mean? So a lot of them are my neighbours. So it's in Portsmouth. I live here. What do they expect? Do they not expect me to know the community? Of course I know the community. And the community have known my story since I've been here. I mean, I've been soaking in the bath for like the last 2 hours and still you can see my red X's on my hands. So I put them on every day. And people interact and talk with me. And today, that's Faces of Forced Adoption and long-term foster care. And Faces of Forced Adoption and long-term foster care. Forced Adoption Exposed. Hair bubble, just in case I'm spraying, graffitiing, doing anything, running, skating. Need to do something quick. Red to remind me of all of you. And white to keep me in the present moment. And obviously I've usually got an EDS one on, but it's snapped, I think. So, and that's gone. So anyway, July, Forced Adoption Exposed Awareness Month is coming up. And I'm hoping that you guys are going to support the fact that I've been doing this tirelessly now since 2013 in July. I don't choose this date because of anything that I've done. I do this to honour David and stolen children of the UK, because that was the platform that was built for me to have the strength to break my gag. I didn't break my gag alone. I broke my gag with about 30 or 40 other parents. I went really into an Australian accent there. So and obviously we came in connection with Australia and Canada and New Zealand around that fucking time, do you know what I mean? And over in the fucking Yanks. And just from that platform became a core of people that have not stopped working together. And that's been Arjuna and Sid and David, and obviously prior to people, there was a lot of people who come in 2015 when I left the front line to give birth to Aaron and Faith, Elijah and Shiloh. So officially I've been on maternity leave, and officially I'm still on maternity leave. However, while I have been breastfeeding 2 children and going through social services and giving birth to 2 children, I have obviously had the adoption inquiry to deal with, which only 37 parents, 56 parents came forward for. That's not also your fault. It is just that funding was only delivered for 100% scale, and out of that, 56 were of you guys. So the good thing is it tipped the balance of the probability. So even though it wasn't the impact that we really needed on their 100% scale, it tipped the scale in our favour, because obviously we took over half because there was 57. So actually in the scale, so based on that inquiry being done on adoptive parents, adopted children, the birth parents, any family members, it was also social workers, judges, all matters to come forward. The parents, the natural parents, overweighed it. So, we got what we needed out of that. But we've been having a problem with Parliament because it was done by Leeds University and London, Leeds Holloway. However, what's missing from this piece of puzzle is a lady called Sabine. And Sabine McNeill has been given a 9-year sentence in prison for breaking the gag of a parent who asked for her help outside the Royal Court's justice, just like she did for me. It's no different. Just case different, details of different stories, and obviously that one took people further down the rabbit hole into satanic rituals, which a lot of people don't want to believe in, but most people don't want to believe that a police officer would deliberately have his partner give birth to a baby, on his birthday. So, we don't want to believe that either. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of what's going on. Most people don't want to talk about or believe. Most people don't want to hear this shit, and that is what it is to them. It is depressive, dark shit. And it is trauma. It's constant trauma. Every story I hear is trauma. Everything that we do causes trauma. If I go off and tell our stories at this event, I'll cause trauma. That's not my intention. It's never, ever, ever, ever been my intention to cause trauma to anybody. Never, ever, ever is in my life, and I'm sure it isn't anybody's here. So, I've been to the Queen's Hotel today. Oh, let me tell you something before I go on to the next bit, before I go. The Queen's Hotel is like our 5-star hotel here, and has now just become completely elite because of obviously the presence of the royals and everything here in Portsmouth. So they've gone the extra mile, and everybody in Portsmouth is obviously going the extra mile. It's completely stepping up Portsmouth at a whole new standard at the end of the day. I was feeling a bit cocky then, so I was trying to get rid of my mouth. Can't be cocky right now. I need to stay really firm, very grounded. So anyway, I've decided that my main focus right here, right now, is the 80th celebration, because there will be an 80th celebration, which is in 5 years' time. And unfortunately, all of us are still going to be here in 5 years' time. I hope all of us are still going to be here in 5 years' time. I just hope that when we are here in 5 years' time, it is because in 3 days' time, we have the opportunity to completely, utterly end this entire situation and flip it over for all of the current people right now. It's not going to give justice to those like me and people whose children have currently been adopted. That's going to be a longer process, I'm afraid. We've now got to go through a loophole. However, our stories and us defending those future us's, which I hope that's what you're here to do. It's like being a rape victim that wants to make sure that the person out there doesn't do it to anybody else. And I want to make sure that Cheryl Osborne and District Judge Andrew Shaw and Stephen Lewis. PC Stephen Lewis, that sounds right. And a few other people face their comments for what they've done to my family, because ultimately what they've done is criminal, and they have to face criminal charges. I didn't do anything wrong, hence why I haven't faced criminal charges. So if I haven't done anything that is wrong, so I'm still a free woman to live my life as I wish to be. However, I'm a grieving mother. So if I haven't committed any harm to Aaron and Faith, why have my children been adopted? Can someone please tell me that? If I have done nothing wrong, that I haven't been tried and committed and serving a prison sentence, then why has my children been ripped from my womb, breast, heart, mind, soul, spirit, and taken where I don't know where the fuck they are? I don't know, as David Jenkins once said to me, I don't even know if my kids are alive, Kelly, because I wasn't even allowed to be part of the proceedings. Fathers are not even allowed to be part of proceedings of their own children's cases. And fuck you, mothers. I don't give a shit what the dads have done to you. If they haven't done jack shit to them kids, you got no right to be alienating these fathers. And most of the time, most of you have been fucking bitches anyway. And I know full well I've been a bitch to some of my fellas. And I certainly would never, ever, 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 unless it is a man who is taking a fucking lighter and shoving it up a baby's arse. You know, and I hate being so blunt about this shit, but it is about time people face the fact that that crap is going on. And it's up to us to stop it, because the kids can't. The kids can't stop it. The kids don't have a voice. And they're around abusive people who aren't enabling and empowering them. So it's up to us, the ex-victims who became the victors, to be their voice. That's the only way we can break this chain. You're talking historic. We can only really go back 75 years because this fucking world and planet pretty much got like ripped to fucking shreds, and a lot happened and it flipped over. Prior to then there were, other issues, but you have to give it to the Queen. She's taken us 75 years from, if you go back to probably what the UK looked like back in 75 years, it was a world war, for fuck's sake. Children were dragged off onto trains and shipped off, and people were gassed in fucking concentration camps. Children, people, like only 75 years ago, like people still live that went through that experience and trauma and witnessed this stuff, and stood up for the people who couldn't stood up for themselves. I am the only campaigner left willing to go into the field. Everybody else has stepped back into areas and perimeters irrelevantly far away. They put an announcement up today, we've shared it. Their exact words were, through fear of being shot. Because as you know, my life went off, and the 2 police officers attended my property, and basically in so many words have pretty much been to every person who's considered a political activist, extreme terrorist as we're called to some people in relation to this matter. And that's not just even about Trump. This is anything to do with this, Brexit, a lot, have all basically had the frontline scare tactic, and that was you do go ahead with this, that it is protected by American armed thingamajigs, and you know, you can go onto my live and listen how they said it, but to everybody else, it's been done on lots of different levels. And if you see the ones from even the anti-Trump people, they're stepping like way back. They're still traveling from all around the fucking world to do this, but they're stepping right back to go, you know, call Trump a racist, but they're not willing to go anywhere near the common. I would hope that everybody had the fucking common sense, mate, to just sit at a picnic like I freaking told everybody and wait for the right time. Ooh, duh. You know, what are they going to do, shoot us all? Really? Could you imagine if they shot somebody here in Portsmouth on such an event? Like, do you really think it's going to happen? Like, the balance of probability? Like, you know, they know the world is watching. So on that note, for 1 hour, been confirmed. Unfortunately, I am an interventionist. Unfortunately, the majority of people putting all the framework together on this are not trained in elite special forces communication, on how to not talk to people about what's going on something that's got extreme fucking services that all think they're going to stand around. Could you imagine me walking into an event with a bunch of fucking bodyguards like this, with fucking raging nutters? Mind you, I've got Amber, and she's probably worth 10 security, do you know what I mean? But, you know, who gets so fucking up their own arses that, you know, they have to walk around with £1 million worth of fucking security? My kids, maybe, especially if they go to school, okay, maybe, live behind a gate, in a gate, you know, our stations, dogs, I could probably put up with that. That could probably be quite handy. It would protect a lot of people from me growling, I suppose, and, you know, a bit of safety net. But I'm being a bit whatever here, but basically a lot of security has gone into this. The bollards went up today. I've been watching the whole stage and things, and obviously I know festivals. I've seen Victorious is here, Mutiny is here. We have this happens pretty much from here now. So today was the 1st of June. No, it wasn't. The other day was the 1st of June. I can't remember what we did on the 1st of June. We did something on the 1st of June, and then I'm on Monday now, and I say Sunday yesterday. I've got a lovely day, so I had a lovely morning with my boys. Went to church this morning and got, which actually the prayer is on there, so you'll know what the topic was, and it was really good. We had a visitor in, and he was talking about all purpose-driven living and stuff, but actually living from a place of trauma. So it was quite an interesting thing, and also making sure you tell truth in your story, which is always about bringing balance to it. So yeah, so anyway, I have no idea how many people are here. It's a very late one. It's like 1:30 in the morning here in the UK. So actually, I should actually be running, you know, morning motivation right now. And but we've got this event on Wednesday. So if you don't know what's going on, just to remind you that here in Portsmouth, which in Great Britain, which is an island, we are here, and then the ferry to France is like that. Or you can go straight over to Isle of Wight, where the Pedophile camp is, by the way, which I didn't know. I found out in all of this that actually the 2 paedophile main camps that are distributed for the majority of the people is on Isle of Wight, because someone said to me, how would you feel living in such a beautiful place knowing that when they're released they're actually over on your place and they can go where you like? And I was like, right, well, I ain't living on the Isle of Wight. And I said, I've got a friend who's actually here. Now I will be telling her to find out about this information before she wants to look about living over in the Isle of Wight, and to be very careful, because I didn't know this. I do now, so now you do too. And yeah, so just to remind you that it is the D-Day. So literally every year for the last 75 years, veterans have raised money, raised awareness, and we've been grateful to them every year for what they did for us back then. We've lived in the past for 75 fucking years, do you know what I mean? But anyway, whatever I think about it. However, I have always enjoyed D-Day. I have always had boys. I've always been in the army life. So I have always been part of D-Day. I've always been married to a soldier, so I've always attended, you know, D-Day things, and it's always been a really lovely day. And because you're around army mentality rather than civilian mentality, I gel much better, because it's very, if you say, could you put the kettle on, it's put the kettle on. In fact, my uncle said to me when he left the army after 23 years, he went to take a job in the civilian street. He said, I can't get my head around it. He said, when I stand up and say, right, that needs done, he says, it's done. He said, I've got a job in the civilian street, and went, right, this, and it's like, that sums up the difference. In fact, here's another difference, and I'm not dishing anybody, it's just a different state of mind, and I prefer it. I got taken into A&E while I was an army wife, and literally my community was there instantly, and we had this process where we have what was called the family's welfare officer, and they're called instantly. It's usually like the warrant officer's wife or something like that, and basically they come in. There's no real, it's all done within the army. There's no signing you over to outside agencies or anything like that. It's all done inter-cell within the army, unless there's any extreme circumstances where we had our own police and everything. So in my circumstances, it was when this is what comes into my case about the being sectioned, which actually wasn't true. I had my neck go while breastfeeding Liam, and I ended up getting taken into A&E. Now, I have actually seen a nasty army friend said something different, but the services itself is great. I was taken into A&E, and literally the services came in. They put Liam into private nursery. They paid for the private nursery for when Dad was at work. Dad was given lots of compassionate leave to be there for me, help out. He was given compassionate leave in time for me to heal, come back. And then once Dad went back to work, the army continued to pay for Liam to go to the private nursery until he went into school age. They just dropped it down to consistent hours, because it was done on a sporadic James's, you know, duties and things like that, and they continued to do that. And I always had somebody who was always around. And when I come out of hospital, my fridge and freezer was completely full with everything that was needed and pre-packed. You know, or not. I'm not talking about microwave meals. I'm talking about handmade meals that were put either salad bowls in the fridge and, you know, trays of food in that, you know, and then I was in Civilian Street, and this was not on a council estate actually, because I'll tell you what, I give it up to council estates. If a freaking ambulance came to places that I've lived in with council, the community comes together, mate. This was in suburbia. This was in Beat the Joneses, lads. I just literally remember going into the back of an ambulance thinking, I don't know if I'm coming out of here. What the fuck is going to happen to my children? Who is going to step in? And it was only my next door neighbour, who happened to be a nurse, that managed to bridge the gap. And that was just literally to get the dad there as quick as possible. And that was it. And it was like, you know, I remember just going back in this wagon with no peace of mind whatsoever of what was going on in my life and what was going to happen while I was not the captain of my ship. Do you know what I mean? And my children were not on board. And any mother needs that peace of mind. You know, that's utterly certain that a mother has that peace of mind. From the moment your child is out of your sight, you have to have that peace of mind. If you don't have that peace of mind, so, you know, to parents out there that play games, like, seriously, I mean, even Dean's doing it to me. You know, he's going to court for full custody. Don't ever tell a mother you're going for full custody, mate, because you'll become her enemy. Do you know what I mean? Because you're going into a fucking battle and a fight with a mother, for fuck's sake. You know, so anyway, tangents, and it's so difficult because there's so many different variables of everything that's going on right now. But this is why it's so amazing on the 4th, guys, because we have an opportunity to do something so beautiful, like really love over war beautiful. Like, The police said to me, if you could say anything to the police rep, to all of them right now, what would you say? I said, I would tell the Queen to take her stockings off and to everybody to get their socks and shoes off and stand on the grass together. And he was like, wow, you know, and everybody I say this to just stands there and goes like, wow, what a real thought about the actual significance of that. I know a lot of people won't get this, but we've lived for generations and generations in a 3-tier society, and it exists. You know, slavery is not that long ago. It was not that long ago that I've got the book somewhere, or I sent it to someone. I can't remember. William Wilberforce or something like that. You know, was the man who really pushed it to abolish slavery. Like I said, it's only 75 years ago since. I don't think we take time to really think about where we really are, because we get so caught up in our own situations that we don't really look at the bigger picture of things. And we've had this, like, I mean, this battle that we're all going through, we're only dealing with the Houses of Commons. There's a bigger picture than that. Do you know what I mean? We're one world. We really are just one. Whatever you flat people want to think or whatever, doesn't really matter whether it's round or flat. Whatever Columbus came up with, or whatever people think about why we had a globe in the classroom, or whether we've been brainwashed, doesn't really matter. It's the planet that we live on, and yes, we are divided by seas, and yes, we are separated by language, and yes, we have different colours, and yes, we have different, I don't really know what it is, like concepts of the world or ways of doing things. I mean, internal values and beliefs, but I mean more in cultures, because weathers are different. The structures of the world are different. Earth elements, water elements, fire elements. I mean, we live here in the UK, but we don't have volcanoes. You go to Holland, there's no hills. There is no, you will never see a hill in Holland. You know, you go over to India or say Egypt, and I've been to Egypt. I took my kids into the pyramids of Egypt. We stood in Gaza, in Cairo, and we stood outside the Gaza, and we went in the doodah, and fucking McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken behind me, did my nutting. What the fuck's that? When you come in, you wanna be in the mummy. You don't want to turn around and see normality behind you, do you? It's freaking drives me up the wall. But at the end of the day, that one world, all the central governments of that, so all the heads of state have been invited. I think there's 14 or something. So we've got the Queen, and the Queen is the Queen of, I can't remember now, is it 57 countries now or something? It'd be really good if I had that fact right now, how many countries the Queen is the crown of. So basically everything that the crown owns. So basically how many people did she kill to govern their country? Pretty much, or her father, or the people before that, because don't forget, it wasn't that long ago. Like I said, 75 years ago, people were running around going, they still are. In fact, my friend was only brought back at Christmas from Afghanistan, so, you know, and I'm not long in Leyland, we're not long lost someone. I'm an ex-army wife. My partners had been over to places. In fact, my first husband was only 17 when he was sent off to Afghanistan, funny enough, or Iraq, one of those two, traumatised. So even though you say we ended World War II 75 years ago, well, I have proof and evidence that my husbands have been going to war in the time I was married. And my family, who are special forces now, are still out there. So there's still a war going on, guys. So we have an opportunity here in Portsmouth, right? In like literally coming as from today, Donald Trump has arrived. The people are arriving. They're all having tea and meeting with the Queen. I do believe that people are starting to prepare for London. So Amber, please remember that you are meant to be on everything on London. Remember, we are not pro or against anything. We are just reporting. And then it's coming down here. And then literally it will come down the A3 from London all the way down. So it will go through. In fact, if you watch the procession, you'll see my entire life come together in front of your eyes. Literally, as soon as they hit Charrington Bowl, and you'll see it will be. I'll tell you what, I'd love a banner there right at Charrington Bowl. That would be wicked. Charrington Bowl, I spent my life at. So if you want to Google Charrington Bowl and see where that is in Charrington. But as you're coming through, my mum temping bowl for England, and she chose to train with her husband, who also was temping bowling for Great Britain. And they trained at Charrington Bowl. So I used to have to go there every Thursday, every Tuesday, babysit my sisters, drive back as I was a kid, and then travel with my mum when she was bowling. And then she went over to Athens to bowl for England. So, which was a really great experience, actually. I was only... she found out she was pregnant with my sister, so I'd have been 13, and being a 13-year-old, literally walking around this really beautiful city by yourself, doing what you wanted, was absolutely amazing. It was probably one of the most liberating things. But then she sold me to Avi from Tel Aviv for a game of pool. It was really funny. She didn't like literally sell me. It was a game of pool. It was funny, but he was bowling for Tel Aviv. So come on, it's like watching, what's that film with that Indian that wins that game, and they all say, where does he get his education from? You have to understand their life to understand maybe how they understand things and get things. So where they, like my dad, growing up with my dad in special needs, and growing up with children who have Downs and autism and Asperger's, and seeing my mum as a cleaner working in geriatrics, do you know what I mean? So but this opportunity here, like on one fucking field that was probably the size of maybe 3 football pitches, you're going to have every status. The Queen, who wears a hat, to princes, princesses, dukes, lords, sirs, masters. My kids are masters, your kids are masters. Heads of state, prime ministers, MPs, EMPs, all of the official titles of all of the ambassadors of the states, people who picked up to try to, keep this world going in some form of order. It got corrupted, of course it did, it always was going to. And some of them are really lovely people. And actually, guys, how is Donald Trump a racist when he's married to a Russian? He has an autistic boy. His son is autistic. Give the guy a break. They don't have him with nannies. Even now, you will still see his children with her. They will all be here. You've got police perimetering, security people, business people looking for an opportunity, people having fun, people enjoying the experience, people there for the veterans, people there to protest. We've got an opportunity on one field, one island, being watched by the entire world, because it will be watched by the entire world. And you have an opportunity I'm not going to say I'm ill, but my health is holding in right now. Cool, I'd probably die on the fucking field at this rate. Oh, that would be funny. Oh god, damn, the kids say. What was I going to say? So I'm not tired. I'm actually in a really good place, actually, guys. I'm in a really good place. And I really, 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 really thank you all, actually, for giving me a reason for actually getting out last week. And I'm actually really looking forward to getting up tomorrow and going sitting in the field before they close it all down. Because for me, as a mum with 2 little toddlers, living in Portsmouth is the biggest fucking bane and stress ever. Because it's all main roads. I'm not talking little lay-by roads. I'm talking, it is a mini city. So I've got buses and double-decker buses and fast cars and Ninars and plus cars, and you're not talking about if a kid runs in a road that it's a 30-mile-an-hour fucking speed limit. You're talking freaking 60 fucking mile ring roads and fast police cars. Even sitting on Southsea Common, it's the Boy Racer main road. So literally, if my kids dart off any direction, it's only, half a football pitch to death on the road. So it's been absolutely lovely being able to sit in there with some safeguarding around me. So it gave me time to grab one, and obviously not the other day where I lost Elijah for 6 minutes. And thank you so much to the people who picked him up off the walks for me, which actually wasn't my fault, which it was my fault, but it wasn't my fault. There was a very, very bad delayed reaction from all the staff in the area that could have shut that fucking back door, and Elijah wouldn't have got out there in the fucking first place. And it should never have been open in the first place. And had it have been shut as it should have been, then I would have had a chance to have grabbed him. I had a double buggy and another child to quickly grab, and for me it's fucking hard work. So other than one park here that's like main gated in, but still he can, he's fast and he waits. He actually susses you out. Elijah's really clever, and he will literally wait for that moment where someone talks to you, or you're trying to change Shiloh's nappy, and he's gone, and he knows he's got a chance to go. So it's been absolutely lovely going down there. But what I've been able to do is literally stage the whole, because potentially I'm looking for an opportunity, and I'm looking for an opportunity to do something. And if you know me, I've already done this opportunity. It's just the difference is now we're dealing with a different type of security. Different, I suppose if you want to call it a game, a different playing field. So if you know me, then you'll know in 2010 I was in the benefit system. I wanted to know how to own over 60,000, and I literally hustled my way. In fact, I broke into the fucking first ever National Achievers Congress that I went to, literally with my 2 kids. I was invited back for crew for the following one. In fact, my tenaciousness and drivenness has always been my greatest success, and has always opened up doors and opportunities for me in anything that I want to do. The best quote I ever read once was, "A conversation with a wise man is worth 1,000 books." And I am a book reader, but I know how long and tedious it takes. So if I know, and obviously my mum being, write a book and that sort of stuff, and the sort of person my mum is in sales, it's always been very easy for me to not really see the same hurdles that other people see. I don't see a difference between me and Donald Trump. There is no difference between, he's male and I'm female. I'm no different to him and his wife, really. Not really. She's got longer nails. She can afford to get her nails done, and has a personal trainer, and has a great team of people around her that enable her to do what she needs to do. she got a book out really quickly. She had a shitload of people helping her do that. Donald Trump, he listened to a 3-minute pitch done by me to put the grape back in Britain. Clearly, to make America great again worked. That's what I was there to do. I'm really struggling with my voice, so I have no idea how I'm going to pull this off at the moment. As you know, part of EDS, I have vocal cord dysfunction. So I don't know how long this little voice box of mine has got left. So they did actually say they were going to put track in it way back in, I think it was 2006. 2006, funny enough. And I've battled it ever since. In fact, when I first spoke for 40 minutes in court, even I shocked myself, because usually I can't do it. So anyway, it's an amazing opportunity to step up Britain, really. But all I want people to do is get a white t-shirt, write your case number on the back of it. I'm not asking you to go and brand yourself, be big, do anything. Just put your case number on the back of it and a red X. And that's it. And people will just ask questions. And if you have any memorabilia, anything you want to talk, come and bring it down to the picnic. And I'm going to launch Families Reunited UK from down there. I'm also going to be broadcasting for CSC as an investigative journalist and reporter for them. They've asked me to do that. And I'm going to be there for obviously my own platforms. And I'm going to be there with XR. I'm going to be there with the Yellow Jackets. And there's the Portsmouth division is here, of course. Of course it would be. So, obviously the XR Portsmouth are here as well. So, and then I do believe people are coming down, which is why Portsmouth asked us not to promote it, because it's not being outside promoted, because we're just a little island, and obviously we want this to be a beautiful, lovely event for the community, but it's not about the community, it's about I don't like the word veterans, that's what it is, about the gentlemen that are still here, that fought in the Great War, that went through significant trauma for our freedom. So people like me and you can stand outside Downing Street and tell our story without being shot. And in a lot of countries, you can't do that. So, as you know, since July 2013, I have literally continued to break my gag, and I'll continue to do so every day until eventually I'm in a situation to literally go and get my kids if they don't let me have them back my way. And if you join me in the same way, build a platform of us all writing our own personal books, and then hopefully not only can you use your crack book to tell your story through your book, you can raise money, gift that money to whatever organisation you wish to do so, but the profit is yours. It is yours to do what you want with. I'm even willing to help you with the finances of that by bringing in accountants for you as well. And what I hope for that is that you are able to buy your children back, literally, because all you need is 150,000 for your own full-blown legal team that would smash your cases to smithereens. You've been on legal aid, I assume. And if you're in council, it will give you the opportunity to purchase your own home. And if you don't have a driving license, car, passport, it will give you the funds for those basic things. And I've worked out that potentially, as long as your story is completely factual and you are a genuine case, you only really need to sell, I did work it out, how many books, I can't remember, I did work it out in order for you to pay for each of those extremities. And yeah, so anyway, I've been in long enough tonight, I didn't even know, I've been up over an hour. I pretty much said I'd waffle for about an hour, and then my videographer is going to be literally going through literally every single one of my videos from, we're trying to chase all back the stuff in 2010 with Daybreak and everything as well. I think the one show on Channel 4 and BBC Live, and I think somebody else did an interview. And then also when I broke my gag in 2013, we're trying to find the Italian press that interviewed me and a few others, because there's loads and loads of interviews and articles with me that obviously because of my gagging orders have had to go in the bin, but people still have these, and we literally need to find as many videos, interviews that there are with me. And this isn't because it's the fucking Kelly show, as if I really want to be doing this. There's fucking 100 million better things I'd rather be doing right now. And like, seriously, I'd actually really love to go and actually enjoy this event. I'm really getting to know friends and people here. It's my hometown. So, you know, my son lives here, my mum lives here. You know, they don't support what I do. So, there's a million things I'd rather be doing. But they've got my kids. And like I told security, police, if they had your kids, would you step down? So I'm not stepping down. I'm still going ahead with what I can't work with, what I've been living here for the reason for. Waiting for this day. If not, I've got to wait until 2018. Not 2018. Sorry, 2029, is it? 18? No, 5 years. 5 years, 8 years. So anyway, before I go, I started in 2010 asking the public, where did you want to be in 5 years' time? And that's what David Cameron ran off with Start-up Britain and all of that sort of stuff. It all comes out of one little mother that just wanted to get out of the benefit system, who wanted to bring back community spirits, who missed carnivals, who didn't understand why a young lad called Joe Redforth had his head kicked in and people were appalled, and that our world had become desensitized. And that was my PhD, the desensitized world. I basically said in the start of my, what would have been my PhD that I wrote to the university to get my place, I basically said that one day the world will be run by robots, but not the Mickey Mouse ones that we all think, but by human ones who have become disconnected from their emotions. And unfortunately, that day has come. So I'm going to be chanting on the field. And if any of you have ever been with me, when I bring the rain, so to say, not quite the rain, but I have done, but there's going to be a lot of us changing the vibration. Look, someone's on my community. I now know how my thing's gone. I'm watching it right here, right now. My arms are folded. My arrow has just slid across my computer to the end live video, and because my arms are folded, it's hovering. Someone's hijacking my laptop. I've just watched that happen there and then. Because literally, seriously guys, I've been doing lives and literally as I say something, it's been flicking out. Like literally, it's like, it's gone to the, like, I have clicked out. I have just literally found it. I've just collared it. I have just watched my little hand, that little hand that's on the computer. My computer's backwards. They stopped doing it. I have just literally watched that hand go from, I don't know where it is. So my live is up in the top here thing, and the thing is at the bottom. So it's the other way around to you guys. I have just watched. I'm going to move it. There you go. I've got it. I don't know if it's going across my screen, but I'm circling it around my head. So my little arrow is going around my head right now. And a minute ago, when I come on the live, I do this all the time, by the way. I deliberately put it right up the top there, just in case I need to pull up something to say to you really quickly. And I do it deliberately just in case. So it's all there ready in Google, just in case I need to hit that next window. I've just watched it fucking move and go right onto my end live and move around a bit, and I've just caught it inside of my eye moving. I literally, if you watch back the camera, you will literally see my eye catch something in the corner of my eye. I was watching my cursor move on my computer. Wow. Are we being hacked? Maybe I'm not paranoid. Maybe just aware. Why would you not be under surveillance when you've had the police at your door 3 times this week? And in fact, Paul's not rang me today, and I thought Paul would ring me being it was Monday today. No, it's not Monday. Tomorrow. Potentially before I go, guys, potentially tomorrow, they're going to be pulling every meeting on me, statutory meeting without me knowing. The police are going to be having meetings about me. Social are going to be having meetings about me. Tomorrow, my life is in the Lord's hands and beyond this. I can't see past Wednesday right now. I am just focused on up to Wednesday. And as long as I am here with you on Wednesday night, talking to you about how it went if you weren't there, and then I might even hoping to be camping down there, to be honest, because they're opening the whole platform for everybody the next day, and I'm just going to hang around there with my kids because it's open to, you know, all us guys and everything, and we're just having a celebration and a festival because it actually is D-Day that day. D-Day is on the 6th, not on the 5th. So Amber, don't do any fucking D-Day shit on the 5th because D-Day is the 6th. Yeah, and they're off to Normandy from here in Portsmouth. So I do still need, so if somebody does have a car that will drive me, that would be even brilliant. I need to get up to the ferry side. If not, I am literally running around with a fucking double buggy and 2 kids all day, guys. So fucking come and give me a break, will you? Anyway, I'm going to shoot off. I can't believe it. Seriously, I'm going to watch that video back and see. I fucking caught it in the corner of my eye. Fucking caught it. That cursor moved. I was not moving that cursor. And I wondered why my lives have just been flicking off, because it doesn't do that on my phone. It's only ever on my laptop. And I haven't been able to type on my laptop this week either. It's been completely jamming me from writing, typing, all sorts. So maybe my laptop has been hacked. Somebody is sitting on my server right here, right now, as I am on live, waiting to see if I say stuff that they want to interrupt. So I shall leave you with the fact that we will be celebrating and honouring the veterans worldwide, but here in Portsmouth, the guests, the VIP guests, will be the Queen and her family, all the heads of state, all of the officials of the world will all be here on one island. Obviously, nobody wants another war, and nobody really wants these. I certainly don't want Portsmouth to be bombed, so maybe I should be telling everybody to get the fuck out of Portsmouth for the day, because if I was Russia, I'd be bloody bombing it on that day, do you know what I mean? So I understand the severity of this situation, I do. But I understand the severity of the families being separated, not just here in the UK, but worldwide. And it really is fire in the fucking kitchen, because we don't want to carry on after the 5th with any more children being unnecessarily detained and taken for forced adoption long term. We really can turn this system around by making D-Day the end it day, and we have the opportunity of a lifetime. People have been protesting for years, standing outside buildings, shouting on walls to guards of police officers with nobody listening to you. with the hopes of the papers saying your story. We have one field with everybody standing on the same field. You're going to be stood on the same field as the Queen. I know that doesn't mean much, but every hierarchy is going to be stood on the same field together. Nobody is being separated or alienated. Yes, there is dividing walls, and yes, there is security, and yes, there is police and perimeters. Just don't be scared of it. You know, there's going to be a beautiful, lovely day, and we have an opportunity for worldwide media. I'm not asking anybody to do anything. I'm not asking you to be there to protest. I'm just asking you to bring awareness. And if we can do it with a mass amount of us in one place, with so many fucking cameras and so much media and so much stuff, and if I do get that, well, I'm going to be doing it anyway, whether it's to speaking to you guys, to the public, and whether or not it is heard by everybody there and that media at the end of their, you know, their 1 hour live. I wouldn't interrupt the beginning, but maybe in the middle, maybe at the end. But, you know, the day is about the veterans, but they fought for us, so it's about us too. And the way this world is going right now, we're going into a World War III, and I'm all about love over war. So come and join me for a festival, because it's pretty much what it is. I know I say picnic in the park, but that's for the police, because if I say protest, then it becomes a different chain of command. So it's just a picnic in the park. It's just like-minded people having a picnic on the park for late birthday celebrations for everybody this year, and to mark for all of our families who lost people in the war, because we all were part of that time. And as long as I say things like that, then nobody is asking me to leave the area. And as long as you guys are peaceful and respectful and do this as I have agreed with the police, then we will be allowed to just enjoy the day and at that time and interact and talk to people and have fun, and stay safe and be good, and it will be like a 3-day holiday. If you want to start heading yourself this way, you can, and in fact the quicker you guys get down here, the quicker we can work out where all the premises are going to be. So and yeah, stay for the next day as well, because it's going to be an all-day complete just fun in the sun. Got a beach, got the sea, you can go swimming. There's lots to do. There's lots of free things to do. We can go and play volleyball. We can all go for walks to duck ponds. We can just spend some time healing and chatting, and just call it a big group therapy thing if need be. And talk about July, talk about where we go from here, talk about class action, talk about a few other things going on, but also a massive opportunity to, you know what I'm like, you know full well, if I decided I wanted to talk to the fucking Queen, there will be an opportunity where I'm sure the Queen will be going to the toilets, and I'm best friends with the cleaner who, you know, from which one do you want to talk about? How many people do you want to fire in Portsmouth that know me? So if I mention who I know that works in all of these different places, you would pretty much have to fire my entire community, because I was born here. I have come here every day, every year, since I was born, and I came to live here nearly 3.5 years ago, and I'm the woman that goes around on roller skates with the double buggy. So it's an island, guys, so within this area where the event is, you're talking about where I go every day on a daily basis with my kids when I'm out. It's my park, here on my doorstep, where I sat for my contact with Elijah when he was taken from me last year with my mum while Victorious was on, and spent a lot of time, you know, a lot of time on that field. I know Portsmouth. I know it like the back of my hand. So, and you're on my territory now, and this is my battle, and this is my battle to be won. But if I win this war for me, then it's a battle that is won for everybody. So, and I hope we can bring peace to the end of all of our trauma. So please, please, please do join me on the 5th. If you can't be there in person, then please help me be live, help me have the equipment for you guys. If not, then it's going to be closed, because, in fact, let me just check before I go. Dead. Let's hope it switches on for tomorrow at some point. So I'm not paid until the 18th. I am living on a prayer 100%. I don't even know if they're going to stick some tickets on us for some areas. I think they're doing, what they've done at the moment is they've chopped the park for us, because I said I wanted the park and the field behind it and the field in front. So they have actually perimetered. So I've told everyone to meet me at the tree. So the police have actually left a line for you all to meet me at the tree. You'll see it, it's on the photographs, and I'm going to go down tomorrow and I'm going to show you, actually, once the main things come up, how actually the police have been really good to us. And there's a lot of people that really believe in us, guys. People who are police officers that have shed tears for us, social workers have shed tears for us. Yeah, there's a lot of people that really, really, really want this system changed for the better for everybody. You know, I've spoken to police officers that have got parents in care homes that they're going fucking ballistic over. So it's all of it. It's the NHS. It's all of it. It's multi-agency. That's what we're caught in, multi-agency. And we do need a public inquiry, and we are the public. So I've got a lot on my mind, as you can tell. I need to really be focused this week. It's now 2:20 here in the UK, and tomorrow I've got to be up and on it, because obviously this week I've had the police here on 3 occasions, so that's 3 referrals to social services immediately. So I've got to put an injunction on that. But I also want to put an injunction on Donald Trump leaving the UK without discussing why he didn't come forward for my court case. And he's not the only one, but he was a businessman there, not the Prime Minister, the President of America. So, you know, businessman to businesswoman. If you really want to go, shall I run for fucking Prime Minister here, so we can go President fucking Prime Minister if need be? You know, if I have to do that, then watch where I am in fucking 5 years' time, mate. And I'll do it deliberately for that conversation. Grand job, but who knows? Maybe I'd make a great Prime Minister, PM anyway, councillor or whatever. I have thought many, many times of running as an MP, and what's the point of running for MP if you don't want to fulfil the whole hoo-ha? But I have thought of at least running as a local councillor, and if I stay here in Portsmouth, then I might as well. Do you know what I mean? They know me in Portsmouth. They would vote for me here in Portsmouth. In fact, I would get the votes here in Portsmouth if I wanted to run. I think you have to have £500 or something, and a campaign, and we already have that. So potentially next year, if I have all the provisions, potentially that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, 5 years time I could be Prime Minister of this country if I fucking wanted to. This just depends whether I would want to. Oh, really? Would you want to be able to shit with security? I couldn't live like that. I'd be my fucking 9. So anyway, grandeur aside, this isn't grandeur, this is real. So literally in 2 sleeps, so Wednesday, the Royal Cars and everything is going to head into Portsmouth. It's going to come right in front of my house, round on the field, and then they're going to sit there all day. It's going to go on, I think, from, I can't remember, and then they, and then they're going off to France, which is the ferry over there. And then they're going over to Normandy, so whoever is then picking up from Normandy, and I'm sure there will be, especially with everything going on in France. And then obviously got the Swedes up top. So if you know your geography, and then we go back around again, guys, because don't forget we are worldwide. So anyway, forced adoption exposed is crossing all borders. So I am already known in many countries as the iron-fisted woman, apparently. All I care about is just taking my kids out on the street and not having to worry about, you know, paedophiles at school, boys, girls banging each other. I just want the kids to have a better platform than they've got now. And I'd rather be part of the solution than the problem. So anyway, I'm going to go, guys, because I am tired. I am waffling. I do talk a lot of shit sometimes. I don't know what part of it you come in. Nobody wants to watch long-winded videos. But I also know that some of you actually do like watching and do find it very healing. And if that's the case, then fantastic. So I hope my health pack, keeps me going before. I hope it's not just a book I'm leaving for Aaron and Faith. I hope I get to tell them their story in person. But just in case, then I also will be finishing mine with you guys. So I look forward to helping you get stories together. So please, if you're a parent of who've had forced adoption, parent alienation, long-term foster care, go over to Faces of Forced Adoption. I've got to learn how to use this app, so we're going to learn together. If anybody out there knows better than us, crack on and write your story, and that's it. And we'll help you along the way, and I'll be there with you. So I shall catch you later. I am literally, and by the way, guys, I've got a couple of people on there that really thrash my fucking head at the moment. They're lovely people. They're allowed to be here, but they just don't gel. Neurotypical Aspie left-right shit. And right now I don't have time for any distractions. So once this event is over, then I will take the time to, go through comments and stuff. But as you know, Amber is there every day on admin anyway, and she, screenshots and sends me anything that is important and needs to be picked up. If people are just in conversation, then obviously leave it to it. If people are obviously trolling and being negative, it's screenshotted to me immediately, and I'm going to put them all in a book as trolls. It's going to be funny. There's not actually that many of them, to be honest. A lot of them are baby mum, and a lot of them are people that, if we were in an office, not everybody gets on, but you still got to work together. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, lots and lots and lots of love to everybody. It's the end of another week, and with that week goes away another month. So EDS awareness, gone. My birthday, gone. May, gone. Everything prior to that, gone. Okay? We're now in June, and there is a one-off big event that is an opportunity for us to all go from the dark to the light. And I hope you will join me in the light and come and sit down and bring whatever you want to the table. And what can you do? Can you juggle? Can you do hula hooping? Whatever you want to do. It's your festival. That's what we are having. We're having a festival. We've got a massive big stage. We've got some elites, celebrity singers. And it's going to be an amazing, beautiful day. It's an opportunity of a lifetime that you wish you were here. And then obviously, even if I can't get on live, Amber will be there from Minds Here. We will be sharing stuff out and getting as much stuff out. And obviously, if I've got equipment or people around who are helping me, I'm not going to be stressed. I'm too blessed to be stressed. You know what I mean? I'm just going to enjoy and allow it to unfold and know that the Lord is with me, and He will. I know where the rigs are, I know where the sound equipment are, I know where the security are, I know the perimeters, I know where the kick panel tools are. I've been working with the police and security to make sure that we're all safe. So feel the fear and do it anyway, guys, and I'll see you here on the 5th. And that's me, Kelly Cotton, over and out. And you bastard, I'm clicking my own live out. And if you're sitting on my computer, to the police, to any person doing it, I got one message to you. If you don't support me, then you support pedophiles. Whose side are you on?